Hey, what's going on, everybody? I don't know why I put that drum line in the beginning. I just kind of liked it, so I put it there. It's your boy Ninja from Above, and today, well, actually, I'm sorry, aka a madman on this platform, only because my ADHD works up a lot, and then I have to deal with it, but you guys have to deal with it too. I'm happy to see that a lot of people have been enjoying the podcast in the past, even though I know there's not that many. I do appreciate everybody who does actually follow the podcast and stuff like that, so kudos to you dudes. You dudes make this stuff worth it. I want to kind of go in a different direction today. I watched a movie recently. It was called Knock at the Cabin. The reason why I watched it was because it was Dave Batista. That's my guy. Well, one of my many guys, but he is I like that dude. I think he does a good job. It looks like here it's got a 67% on Rotten Tomatoes, 63% on Metacritic, and a 6.1 out of 10 on IMDb. I'm going to go over my thoughts and everything that I thought of the movie. I thought the movie wasn't too bad, though. I guess a lot of people didn't really care for it, or they thought that it was mid, or how the kids say, mid. I thought it was pretty decent. So essentially, the plot is that these two parents who are homosexual have a Chinese daughter, and they take her to a village. So I immediately was speculating that this was going to go the Disney route and start, in an uproar about rage against homosexuality or rage against Asian hate or whatever aspect of the time period that we're in decided to bring up. It did not go that way, thankfully. I was very happy to see that. But essentially, they go into a cabin. They rent out this cabin in the middle of the woods, and they got taken hostage by these four individuals. That being one of them was Dave Batista, who was Leonard in the movie. He is a fantastic actor in that movie, by the way. There's a little bit of spoilers, so if you're not trying to hear any spoilers, stop listening. I don't know how much I will spoil, but I don't want you to spoil yourself if you are looking forward to watching the movie. So we got Rupert Grint as Redmond. I thought he did pretty good, but then I remembered who he was, and that is freaking, what's his name from Harry Potter? Ronald Weasley. It was Ronald Weasley from Harry Potter. So I was like, oh, well, that's him. So, so then I couldn't get his face out of my freaking head. Ben Aldridge was Andrew. Jonathan Groff was Eric. Abby Quinn was Adrian, Adrian, I think it was. And then Kristen Coy, I'm sorry if I butchered the name, is Wen. Which she also did a fantastic job. Actually, all the actors did a really good job in the movie. So I was really looking forward to this movie because of, one, Dave Batista was in it. Two, it basically, they get taken hostage because one of them has to kill each other, or they all have to agree to kill one of the three fathers or the daughter in order to stop the world from ending. Right? I was like, no, there's and it's in the M. Night Shyamalan. Yeah, Shyamalan, if that's how you pronounce it. It's one of his movies. So I'm like, oh, there's going to be a huge twist. Everybody was, ready for that twist. It's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. So they have to make this choice in order to save the world, is what these four random people who have taken them hostage decided they had to do, right? So the acting in the movie was absolutely spectacular. Everybody did a fantastic job, especially Dave Batista. His character, and this is where we're going to dip down a little bit into the spoilers. His character lasts so long in the movie that I was actually sad at the end of the movie. I won't try to spoil too much, but I was very, very sad. His character was very important to the story, and it kind of shone a light on what the movie was really about. Just really, really good acting from everybody in the cast. So kudos to them for that. The lighting was great. I mean, obviously it only happened in one area, the cabin. So there wasn't a whole lot they had to do, but the way they transitioned from scene to scene really made the movie feel alive, because the way the camera panned and the things that they would do throughout the scenes, the movement, uh, where you could basically like see through the walls and everything like that to see what was going on when it panned to the other sections. Very good. Um, the pace of the movie was, and this is just my opinion. The pace of the movie was actually good. I thought originally that it was very slow, and like I said, you're looking for that. You're looking for that twist, right? Because I don't know about you guys, but in the beginning of a movie, if I see a movie by M. Night Shyamalan, I'm looking for the twist immediately. So I'm literally, I think I was like 10 or 20 minutes into the movie, and I was like, you know what? I think I know what the twist is, right? And my wife was like, no way. I was like, I swear to God. I swear to God, I think I know what the twist is. And then it was about 30 minutes in, and I was like, you know what? I don't think there is a twist. And the funniest thing happened. There is no twist. There is no twist. There is no twist to this movie at all. Uh, M. Night Shyamalan completely went off his usual debuts and decided he was just going to make the movie. It is what it was. Now, he did change the movie from the story. So I can't remember what the story was called. It's based on I believe, a book. It was a novel, The Cabin at the End of the World. And the book was very different than the movie in the aspects of who dies and what happens throughout the book. So if you want to check that out, that is The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. He's the one who wrote the novel. But, dude, Knock at the Cabin, I will say that I really enjoyed it. I probably would have given it like an 8 or a 9, only because there was a few aspects that I did not like. Mainly, it was the script itself. When I read what was different between The Cabin at the End of the World and Knock at the Cabin, it gave me kind of like okay, maybe they should have added that, because that would have made more sense. And some of the things that the main protagonists of the movie did kind of didn't correlate with what they should have done, which then I found out in the book they did do. So I was like, okay, well, it kind of sucks that they added that, they edited that out or didn't do that in the movie. But, for a difference, I would have given it like a 9. I want to say like an 8 or a 9, just based on that. I'll go with 8.5. 8.5. We'll give it that. That makes more sense. Sorry, I'm sipping on my coffee. I do believe that M. Night Shyamalan, and I think he came out in an interview and said, nope, there's no twist. There's no twist. So here, I'm going to cut myself off real quick just to make sure whoever doesn't want to be here for spoilers is not here for spoilers. And I'll be right back. All right, everybody who didn't want any type of spoilers is gone at this point, I hope. If you didn't want spoilers, this is your last chance to leave, okay? Because I'm about to spoil a bunch of stuff. Essentially, the 4 people that play as these random individuals that come to the cabin are the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Each one of them revolving around a different characteristic of humanity and why humanity matters. The homosexual couple had been bullied for so long through society and through the means that because it was at the time period where homosexuality was frowned upon and everybody would pick on them and stuff like that. So at that point, that when they go and introduce themselves, they introduce themselves like random individual, but actually good people. They do discuss their jobs and their professions and everything to the homosexual men, to the married couple with the daughter. And they didn't want to do anything that they didn't have to do. They asked them if they could just come inside. And even Dave Bautista's character was like, hey, if we asked you to come inside, please tell your daddies to let us in. And she's the one who basically was like, no, don't let them in, don't let them in. Even though he was the sweetest, gentle giant in the world. He was actually a gym coach in in the movie, and he loved like working with children, and all he wanted to do was make sure that every child could be happy. So every couple of hours, an event would occur that would like destroy the world, right? Or a portion of the world. At which time they would have to sacrifice one of the four individuals to show that the world has been judged. And that's kind of what they said, is like every time they would do this little ritual. They had them tied up because they knew they weren't going to cooperate. So they were like, hey, do you guys agree to kill one of the three of you, or are we not going to do that? And when they said no, inevitably, every single time they said no because they thought they were just crazy, they would go ahead and, kill off the third, fourth, fifth member. Or I'm sorry, third, second, first member of the group. And then a massive event would happen within the world. There was tsunamis and hurricanes and earthquakes, and it led to like planes just shutting down and crashing into the world to destroy it. So each time it got worse and worse. And they were thinking, oh, this is just a conspiracy theory. And I think that's what they wanted the twist to be. I think people wanted the twist to be, oh, it was pre-recorded and it wasn't, none of it was real. These guys are in a cult and it's all psycho. Oh, they're trying to get back at them because they're homosexual, like stuff like that. But there was no twist. They just represented the four horsemen of the apocalypse, and every time they killed one of the four horsemen, it would be the world has been judged. Boom, and they'd kill them. The event would happen, and then they'd continue. It wasn't until the end when they saw the planes falling down from the sky that they realized that it was not a joke and that they were all being sincere about what they were saying to them. Even though the one husband did decide, he was like, no, there's no way, it's still real. But then when it came to Dave Bautista's turn to unalive himself, he had to sit. He said, can we take this outside, please? I'd like to do this next part outside. And bro, his character like almost had me bawling because he was such a gentle giant. He was such a nice guy. And I'm sitting there thinking, maybe it is real, maybe everything that they're talking about is real. And I actually figured there was no twist at the beginning, like I told you. And he tells him basically he was a coach at on a team over at his high school, and he just loved kids. And he said, well, you still have a few minutes after I do this to decide if the world is worth saving. And of course, the one husband, I believe he was played by Ben Aldridge, and the other husband was played by Jonathan Groff. The one husband, Andrew, decides he's like, no, we're not going to do this. This is crazy. You're not going to go ahead, and I'm not going to kill you. You're not going to kill me. We're not going to, kill our daughter based on these crazy people. And Eric has this like revelation that's like, yeah, I think we need to, and I want nothing but for you and her to be happy. And I want this world to survive. And he's like, it does. Eric, this is Andrew. Andrew basically tells him like, we've been picked on forever. Screw the world. They don't like us. They don't care about us. They pick on us. They wouldn't even let us have our daughter. And they kept doing flashbacks of like when they had to first get their child and had to lie on the paperwork because they were both homosexual men, and it was supposed to be a mom and a dad. But either way, he was just sick of the world. Andrew was. And Eric brought that last little bit of light to him and was like, no, I think we need to do this for you and her. Because, he was just ready to go. He's like, right now, do it right now, because the image I have in my head is beautiful. And Andrew shoots Eric off camera, obviously. Eric dies. Andrew goes up to Wen, who's their child, who's hiding in a treehouse at this time. And he basically tells her, she looks at him and said, did Daddy Eric save everyone? And he just shakes his head yes, and goes over and cries next to her. And I was like, bro, what? Because then the sun starts shining, all the chaos stops, they drive down the road. The ending was, I didn't feel like they needed as long of an ending as they did. They kind of dragged it out. they drive down to a local diner down the road where everyone's gathered at the diner watching the news, and they kind of watch the news with them and see how many people are surviving and how many people were lost, and then they get back in the vehicle and start driving again. But they drug that scene out for quite some time while she's kind of playing on the radio and playing her Daddy Andrew and Daddy Eric's favorite song. And at first, of course, Daddy Andrew's like, no, I don't want to hear that. That was Eric's song. I'm sad he's gone. But then he eventually turns it back on for her so that they can listen to it together. Overall, I thought it was a really good movie. Honestly, if you want to go see Knock at the Cabin, I totally would recommend it to anyone. Great movie. Sorry if you stuck through the spoilers and you didn't want to. All the actors did a fantastic job. I don't understand why I got a 6.1. I mean, I kind of do, but I kind of don't. And it's got a 67 on Rotten Tomatoes. So at least on every platform, it's consistently about 60% of people enjoyed the movie, me being one of them. But yeah, that's about all I had. I just wanted you guys to hear my thoughts on the movie because I watched it. So I wanted to share my feelings. It was a really good movie, man. It was really sad, too. And I felt bad for a lot of the characters. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me. Be good. I'll catch y'all later. Actually, I might catch you guys in a little bit. I might just do another episode. I've been completing a bunch of video games lately. And let me go ahead and stop this recording. I'll transfer us over to the next line so you guys can hear what's going on with that. I might have something for you. All right, guys. So the one thing I wanted to bring up is that if you guys have any movies or games or anything that you guys want me to see and do reviews on before you guys have to go out there and watch it or anything like that, just go ahead and I think you can leave a message on here or do a Q&A thing. If you have any questions or anything like that for me, I totally am down to do it. I just don't know how. So essentially, I think you guys leave a message for me, and then I go ahead and just respond to it on a future podcast. If you guys have any comments as well, I will respond to them. I just have to look at them, and I'm looking through the messages, and I haven't. Yeah, so I see them if they come up, but I haven't seen any come up. So if you guys have any questions or any type of thing you want me to see or do a review on, just make sure you leave it in a comment or send a message over and I'll respond to it in a future podcast. I don't know. I think I might start doing these podcasts maybe 2 a week or maybe 1 a week, just depending on how well they're received and how everybody feels about them. And if there's anything else that you guys just want me to look at, just make sure you let me know. Anyway, that's going to do it for your boy Ninja from Above, aka a Madman, and I will catch you guys on the flip flop. Adios, dudes.